The Walking Dead had been shot on film for 10 seasons, and that was a style that everybody loved and had embraced, and we had planned to continue with in season 11. When we were faced with the challenge of producing these 6 episodes this year, it was a very quick and easy decision to switch to digital from film.
We decided for COVID, it's safer. There's fewer things that need to be handled and moved from person to person, fewer times you've got to switch out film on the camera.
I'm a film lover, so I love the fact that the show was on film. I love the look, I love the feel, I love the process, I love the rigor. Like, you can't just let the camera run and flow. But to be perfectly honest, it's definitely a lot easier doing digital.
The new cameras are fantastic. I don't find myself missing film. When the work started to happen, it was no different than in the 16mm days. It moved as fast, if not faster, and it was easier to deal with. And for monitoring purposes, people have to really look at what we're photographing in order to make good choices. All that monitoring side of it is really much better.
I don't think that initially I thought of it any differently than I think any other time. Regardless of how I felt about the pandemic and about safety, I still had a vision of wanting to achieve whatever was in my head, the director's head, the writer's head on screen. It's hard to get to a point where you realize there's a better way to do what you're trying to do. Given where The Walking Dead wants to go, the digital world can provide.
So with digital cameras, we've been able to use very robust on-set routing devices that can beam the signal from sets to Angela and the other writers' houses and offices in LA. We would not have been able to do that with film.
We have a system called Q-Take where the writers can actually log in and see what we're shooting as we shoot it. So I can be in contact with the writers on my unit, Roberto can be in contact with the writers on his unit, and say, hey, watch this, what do you think?
It's been interesting, but sometimes people on set forget. Angela can send a note in, and then people are like, Angela? And we're like, yeah, she's watching. The showrunner's watching.
For the most part, we watch and we celebrate what's happening, but we're very, very looped in. It's just a very different way of working than we have ever worked before.
What am I doing?
I'd call dibs on that one. It's got more curb appeal.
One of the big things that we had to accommodate was trying to keep these 6 episodes contained within the studio property as much as possible.
Alexandria is really a town that The Walking Dead owns. And there's a bunch of houses there that have been used for filming over the years. When we were trying to figure out the best and safest way to get all of the cast here, instead of having them find their own housing, we turned all of the Alexandria houses into little Airbnbs.
Our director right now, Laura, she's staying at one of the brownstones, and the last few days she's been walking literally 10 steps to go to work.
It is a dream. It is the best commute ever. We were shooting in Alexandria all of last week, and I timed it. I had a 10-second commute. Basically, I walked down my stairs and I was on set. But I get a lot more sleep because I walk outside and say action. What's better than that?
And Jeffrey and his family are living in the house that Rick used to live in on the show.
All right, kid, take me on the grand tour.
It's been amazing. One day I was going for a walk. Jeffrey was out on his porch, and then Paula, who lived next door, came out on her porch. I said it was like summer camp. I think Jeffrey said it felt like college. It was just, I will never have a situation this good, ever.
We knew that we could not go out on location and contend in any way with the outside world. Everything we're doing is happening right here at the studio in Georgia.
Fortunately, our property where we are here at the studio, we have like 200 acres, which is amazing. So the writers really wrote these scripts with that intention of keeping everything within the areas that we control.
For me, it was very hard to kind of distinguish each episode from each other, because I look at it that the audience is going to see this 6-hour epic story. Because of COVID, it was an extra challenge, because normally we shoot one episode after another. Here, we had 2 directors, 2 scripts simultaneously, so I had to take an approach like I'm doing a miniseries.
I want to give a lot of credit to our art department, who have managed to build 27 new sets in about 4 weeks.